Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart.
Hello and welcome to Retain, Revise, Retire. Our 5 criteria: increase faith in and worship of Heavenly Father and His Son Jesus Christ, teach the core doctrine of the gospel with power and clarity, invite joyful singing at home and at church, comfort the weary, and inspire members to endure in faith, and unify members throughout the church. All right, we're kicking off today with 281, Help Me Teach by Inspiration. This is text and music by Lauren F. Wheelwright. All right, nice short one. Help me teach with inspiration. Grant this blessing, Lord, I pray. Help me lift a soul's ambition to a higher, nobler way. Okay, very nice. Help me reach a friend in darkness. Help me guide him through the night. Help me show thy path to glory by the Spirit's holy light. Fill my mind with understanding. Tune my voice to echo thine. Touch my hand with gentle friendship. Warm my heart with love divine. Help me find thy lambs who wander. Help me bring them to thy keep. Teach me, Lord, to be a shepherd. Father, help me feed thy sheep. Oh, what a charming, lovely hymn. So yeah, it hits a lot of things in the topic of inspiration. Has a nice melody. Yeah, I've definitely heard this sung in church. It's it is about comforting the weary, and inspiring people to endure. Yeah, I think it hits a lot of our criteria. I'm going to say retain on that one. Love it when it's easy. Sometimes it's not so easy. All right, let's move on to 282. Still loading. We meet again in Sabbath school. We have another Sabbath school song. I think those all got put here in the miscellaneous category. Maybe I don't know why they're not all grouped together. Who knows? Text by George Ben Waring, music by Ebenezer Beasley. So these two they obviously collaborated on a lot of things. But this is not one I really know. Once again, we don't call it Sabbath school. Today we just say Sunday school. But, same idea. Okay, here we go. We meet again in Sabbath school on this, the Lord's own day, where joyful gladness is the rule, and love doth bear its sway, where all may join in songs of praise to Him who reigns above, and thankful hearts and voices raise for His redeeming love. Okay, yeah, definitely a little higher on for the sopranos. Like goes up to a high E. Try to look at the other ranges. No, the tenors go up to a D, but that's not too bad. All right. I do notice some kind of older language, like in love doth bear its sway. Like that is not immediately apparent to the modern reader what that means, perhaps. Okay, let's look at the other verses. We meet again, yes, gladly meet, to learn the will of God. For wisdom seeking, that our feet may walk the narrow road. So like they opted for a slant rhyme there. God and road. It's okay. Sometimes that's the best option. O Father, let thy Spirit dwell in every willing heart, that we may love and serve thee well, and ne'er from thee depart. Okay. O happy day on which we meet with friends and teachers dear, and in the ever sweet retreat their blessed teachings hear. With precious truths our minds are stored, the gospel plan made plain. Each Sabbath day with one accord, oh let us meet again. Again. Sorry. Play it again. Again. Okay, I mean, it's not wowing me. And it isn't this. I haven't really heard this one sung very much. It's not a bad hymn. Let's look at the criteria. Strengthening faith in Heavenly Father and His Son. Yeah, that's definitely there. Core doctrine kind of talks more about about learning doctrine, but not exactly what the doctrine is. If that makes sense. Okay, joyful singing. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty fun little tune, though it may be a little high for the sopranos. Comfort the weary. Kind of, sort of. Unify members. I don't know, a little weak on that too. Yeah, I just don't think this one, especially since we have other ones that are kind of about, yay, it's Sunday, that do this a little better. This one just kind of feels a little, even redundant to some of those other songs. So I'm going to say retire on that one. Okay, 283. The glorious gospel light has shone. Text by Joel H. Johnson. Oh, I didn't know he had another one in here. And music by Gottfried W. Fink. So Joel H. Johnson wrote High on the Mountaintop and is an ancestor of mine. So I do like him. But I don't know, this one isn't sung very much, I don't think, at least not where I live. Let me know if this is like your favorite hymn down in the comments. All right, let's go to accompaniment. It definitely looks like a restoration hymn, which I definitely like. Though why wasn't it with the restoration hymns? I don't know. This miscellaneous seems a little bit all over the place. The glorious gospel light has shone in this the latter day, with such intelligence that none from truth need turn away. The precious things which had been sealed from the word kept hid, the Lord has to his saints revealed, as anciently he did. Oh, I like that third line especially. The da 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 da. They can kind of that kind of climbing motion. It's interesting. Okay, and through the priesthood now restored, again prepared the way through which the dead may hear his word and all his laws obey, as Christ to spirits went to preach, who were to prison led. So many saints have gone to teach the gospel to the dead. Yeah, I don't think that's something we talk about a lot in our other hymns. So good on you, Brother Johnson. And we for them can be baptized, yes, for our friends most dear, that they can with the just be raised with when Gabriel's trump they hear, like the angel Gabriel, I guess. That they may come with Christ again when he to earth descends, 1,000 years with him to reign, and with their earthly friends. That's nice. Now, O ye saints, rejoice today that you can saviors be of all your dead who will obey the gospel and be free. Then let us rise without restraint and act for those we love, for they are giving their consent and wait for us to move. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm just wondering, like, why isn't this with the rest of kind of like the restoration hymns? It feels like it's misplaced here, and maybe that's why it hasn't really been sung as much as it could have been. I don't know. The glorious gospel light is shown in this the latter day. I like the text. The text is very interesting. We're talking about proxy work and baptism for the dead, people accepting the gospel in the spirit world. I mean, those are really good concepts that aren't really addressed in any other hymns. I mean, they always could be addressed in new hymns that are put. So, you know what? This one I'm going to say retain. And I want it to be put with other songs like it that are more restoration type. Like, I think it maybe just has been sort of misfiled, as you say. So it's kind of in these miscellaneous songs that I'm noticing a lot of these miscellaneous songs don't get as much play. I don't know if that's because they're in the back of the hymn book or what, but I'd like to see this one have a chance. And I don't want my ancestor to haunt my dreams. Just kidding. I'm sure he would understand. All right. This is okay. Now here's a fun one to look at. 284. If you could hie to Kolob. Yeah, this one's I think through the years has been one of the more controversial hymns, because you have to explain right away what HIE high is, as that's not a word we use very much these days, and what Kolob is, which is even more difficult to explain, perhaps. All right, text by W. W. Phelps, and music is the tune Kingsfold, as adapted by Ralph Vaughan Williams, the famous British composer. All right, so this one's very interesting. If you could tie to Kolob in the twinkling of an eye, and then continue onward with that same speed to fly, do you think that you could ever, through all eternity, find out the generation where gods began to be? So it has that very kind of haunting minor feel to it. But it actually was not the original tune that was used. The original tune was a little bit major. It was a little more cheerful sounding. But for this hymn book, we settled on Kingsfold. Okay. Or see the grand beginning where space did not extend, or view the last creation where gods and matter end. Methinks, the spirit whispers, no man has found pure space, nor seen the outside curtains where nothing has a place. The works of God continue when worlds and lives abound. Improvement and progression have one eternal round. There is no end to matter. There is no end to space. There is no end to spirit. There is no end to race. And then the verses 4 and 5 are just a big long list of there's no end to this or that or this other thing, or and and just there is no end to being. There is no death above. I mean, there's no other hymn like it in the whole hymn book. But here's what some of my thoughts on this. So it specifically says in the criteria that we're supposed to teach the core doctrines of the gospel with power and clarity. These are definitely not the core doctrines, like that idea, Kolob. um, and some of the other things that it talks about. They're sure interesting thoughts, but I don't think that they qualify as the core doctrines. Um, I don't know that this is a particular unifying piece. Actually, it causes a lot of division. I love the tune King's Fold is beautiful, um, but I think this is always one we could still do, like it's a special musical number, but it's also kind of a weird thing to sing in sacrament meeting, especially if you had a brand new visitor. Can you imagine if like this was the in the sacrament meeting that you bring a new investigator to? Like, what are they even talking about? They probably wouldn't understand, like the whole first verse, second verse. I don't know. Gosh. Yeah, they would just be like, "What is Kolob?" And like, that's not something that needs to be a first discussion sort of thing. So, sadly, as much as I really like this song, I'm going to say retire because it doesn't fit that the criteria of focusing on the core doctrines. You know, when I was growing up, we used to call this sort of stuff space doctrine. Trying to go out to that really speculative, way out there, outside the core doctrines of the church. So, it pains me to do it, but I'm sure still use it. Doesn't have to go away completely. But I don't think it should be concluded in the next hymn book. All right. Whew, it's too bad. But I think that's what they're probably going to say. Okay, and last for this particular episode, God moves in a mysterious way. Okay, text by William Cowper and music by William B. Bradbury. I think we've seen them before too. I don't know that I know this one very well, so I'm going to go ahead and play the accompaniment. It's in 3/2. That's an interesting time signature there. Okay, cool. God moves in a mysterious way, His wonders to perform. He plants His footsteps in the sea and rides upon the storm. Interesting. I don't know if I love having like 6 quarter notes in a row, and like there's not a lot of both times they have 6 quarter notes in a row. It's only 2 different tones too. Moves in a mysterious way, and then plants his footsteps in the sea the same way. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. Don't love that musical choice. Okay, ye fearful saints, fresh courage take. The clouds ye so much dread are big with mercy and shall break in blessings on your head. Interesting metaphor. So the clouds look like storm clouds, but they're actually filled with mercy, and it's going to rain mercy on you. Okay. His purposes will ripen fast, unfolding every hour. The bud may have a bitter taste, but sweet will be the flower. Okay, so we're kind of going like with a different metaphor for each verse. And for some reason, we're eating the bud and we're eating flowers. Blind unbelief is sure to err, and scan his works in vain. God is his own interpreter, and he will make it plain. I don't know. This song is not doing it for me. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it fits the criteria. I mean, it does talk about God and faith in God, but it's kind of just a weird song. The text is kind of strange. I'd like it more if it had more of a through thread, but like second verse we're talking about clouds and rain, and then we're talking about flowers and buds, and then we're talking about interpretation. Yeah, and some of the language is pretty antiquated too. Yeah, not a lot going for this one for me personally. If you love it, cool. But I think there could be better songs written on this topic, like kind of trust the ways of God because they're higher than our ways, and we don't understand everything He can. So, anyway, let's retire from me. Okay, so we're gonna round off this episode. I'm gonna read a little bit. This one's called "The Light of Faith." Is a text that I wrote. Music by David Naylor, who's also set this to it and submitted it. Okay. The light of faith glows as a fire amid the darkened forest glen, a haven that can hope inspire, that warms the chill of what has been. Come gather, come gather, come gather to the fireside, come gather to the fireside, for faith will light and warmth provide. The light of faith keeps wolves at bay. They shrink before its holy glow. It keeps the dark of doubt at bay. It keeps us safe until we know. And then, come gather, come gather, come gather to the fireside. Come gather to the fireside, for faith a shelter will provide. The light of faith will never die when fed by those who gather near, for every spark will testify that we must not give in to fear. Come gather, come gather, come gather to the fireside. Come gather to the fireside, for faith forever will provide. All right, that is all for this particular episode. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and share if you will. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, keep singing. Bye.